So a little history about the New York, Westchester and Boston Railroad, also known as the Westchester or the Boston Westchester. It ran between New York City and Westchester County, New York. Contrary to the name, it terminated in Port Chester and White Plains, New York, never finishing that connection up to Beantown. A single-track line starting at 180th Street in the Bronx continued to Columbus Avenue in Mount Vernon, where we are today. It then broke off in two directions, with service to White Plains and to Port Chester respectively. The railway, which started construction in 1909, began operating in 1912. Sadly, it never lived up to expectations, and the J.P. Morgan-backed $1 million-a-mile railway went bankrupt in 1937, essentially becoming a $1 million-a-mile folly. Only traces, sad reminders of a grand time remain just out of the corner of your eye. Artifacts like this station that we're about to see, overpasses, and the occasional bridge abutment have stood the test of time in the wheels of progress around Westchester. But for how long? As we learned a few weeks ago, the Highbrook Bridge in Pelham landed on the National Historic Landmark list. But what are these less attractive, less significant, hidden from view in plain sight locations? Sadly, progress will prevail at some point. So we are walking down LORRAINE Terrace in Mount Vernon, which connected the Columbus Street station to the East Lincoln Avenue station, and this area ended up being built over in the 1950s, 1960s with housing, and the right-of-way opened up to the apartments that are now here, as you see behind me. We're currently walking towards the Columbus Street station, which is actually in horrible disrepair, but at least there's some of it still there. There's some actually really cool stuff we'll see inside of it when we get down there, all right? You can see a remnant of one of the towers here. It's managed to survive all these years. Look at the size of the threads on these bolts. You can imagine what these held up at one point. So I'm not concerned that level. Wow, and now you can see the old Columbus station coming into view. See, the station's located right down in a neighborhood here, down in Mount Vernon. It's all overgrown. There's an apartment building off to the side, another one of the platforms. Part of what drives this project for me is my love of street art and graffiti. And we can see that the Columbus Avenue station has no lack of graffiti. Wait till we see inside the building. of the Columbus Avenue station was the Columbus Avenue Viaduct. It was a massive structure spanning 400 feet in length. This included a 104-foot span over the main line of the New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad. Its main girders were supported by towers resting on these very concrete pedestals. They sit as silent sentinels to a bygone era, still paralleling the current-day Metro-North New Haven line. Just a quick note, we're on MTA property. We're on the outskirts, and there are signs posted to stay off the tracks and to not trespass, and we had tried to oblige. And just remember that there are signs posted when you come to places like this. And it's not just for fun. You're dealing with a lot of high voltage, especially around any of the New York area for Westchester County and in New York City for that matter. So please be careful out there. And I never recommend doing this stuff unless you know your surroundings and you've been out there and you know what you're walking into, all right? So thanks for watching. If you like this, please throw me a thumbs up and please subscribe. And I hope you guys enjoyed the day's adventures, and we look forward to the next time around. Have a good day. Bye.